Look in my eyes, what do you see? The Onlyfanz Football Podcast. Welcome everyone to Brock Lenzer's favourite football podcast, the Onlyfanz Football Podcast. On this week's episode, we discuss the ongoing situation in Nice. We have a Serie A special in Euro Trash, Euro Treasure. We have the return of Cut of the Week. We chat about this week's Premier League games and discuss the top 5 own goals in this week's Get It Out, unofficially sponsored this week by Breakfast Rolls from Clark's. We hope you enjoy the podcast wherever you're listening, and be sure to follow our Instagram, Spotify and YouTube. Take it easy.
My spidey senses tell me this is gonna get fucking tasty, baby.
I will love it if we beat them. Love it.
There's a slice of cheese, vinegar, it's topless.
I have a dream.
Battler.
The fella in the green and white short.
The guys up in the joy have asked to be put back in their cells.
If you stop waffling, we might get some work done.
He has the goop, lad. He has the goop, lad.
Get out! Get out, Man United!
Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Shane Long has done it.
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
Is he a fucking spice?
My grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike.
I think I'm a special one.
I'm the normal one.
I never knew Stoke were that good.
Welcome everyone to the Onlyfanz Football Podcast. For the fans, by the fans. Episode 6, the Kostas Tsimikas.
Great name, isn't it?
Great name, great Greek name.
Greek god.
A Greek god, just like the lads at Nero's who make my chicken gyros.
Oh, stop. Welcome everybody to today's podcast. I'm with myself, Adzi, and
Cram.
And he's coming on today's podcast.
Yeah, we have our inaugural. No, it's not.
Aye.
We have our Hall of Fame segment.
We have the acclaimed Hall of Fame.
The acclaimed Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
We have Get It Out. Top 5 own goals.
Mm-hmm. We have the return of Cod of the Week. Of course, went down well last week, didn't it?
Yeah.
Fresh cod. We have our Premier League rundown where we'll just talk about this week's fixtures.
And of course, Euro Trash, Euro Treasure.
Serie A base this week.
And maybe something else that we forgot about.
Yeah.
How was your week, Adam?
Yeah, do you know what, Cran? I had a cracking out week. We're sitting here and the weather is absolutely lovely. We're coming towards the end of the summer. I have things sorted out for college and that, so I'm happy that the summer's coming to a close and I'm ready to get going again.
That's very depressing.
It's not really though. I'm happy for the future. I'm looking forward to seeing what's what. Yeah, so basically didn't really get up too much this week. We neither of us were drinking, unfortunately. It was a bit of a dry weekend, but we plan to go again next weekend. Yeah, but apart from that, I was actually drinking on Thursday in the Bald Eagle of Hibsborough.
Oh well.
It's a good spot now. I had a few Guinness, had an Island's Edge, which is like a poor man's Guinness. Now it's not bad. All due respect, it's got absolutely nothing on Guinness.
The Burnley of Guinness.
The Burnley of Guinness hoofed the ball down the throat. I love all the free clout we give out, by the way. All we do is just name places. Like literally, I'm not gonna get into it. All we do is name places. Yeah, so I watched Spurs had an awful time in the Conference League, and man, they were
Get
so
out,
bad.
Nuno.
They were so bad, man. We had a great time, myself, Dave, and Dara. We had a great laugh, and yeah, that was about it. I watched Shells draw on Friday with Bray Unknowns, Bray Wanderers. The best thing about Bray is
the Katie Taylors.
The Katie Taylors, yeah, well, I suppose. But the best thing about Bray away, obviously it wasn't away, but I'm just letting you know for future reference. The chips, there's a chipper right beside There's a chipper right beside the train station that is absolutely sensational. Do lovely curry chips now. But yeah, we drew one out with Bray anyways. And
that was the highlight, the curry chips.
That was the highlight. 8 points clear now, so hopefully we can keep tucking away at it. And yeah, just watched the Premier League. It was a good weekend for the football again. What do you think yourself? How'd you get on?
Quite weak. I was just thinking there as you were saying the poor man's Guinness. I was thinking of all the fucking Guinness snobs. You go, why are you drinking Guinness? Why do you like Guinness?
Well, come here.
Can I not just enjoy Guinness? Like,
God forbid somebody enjoying something they like. You know what I mean? I think one of the bad things about the world we live in now is people are too quick to judge people on things they like. Oh, you like Guinness, do you? Fuck you for liking Guinness. No, hold on. Guinness is delicious. This is now an unofficial... No, it's not an unofficial Guinness podcast. Guinness is the best drink in the world. Don't mind those Guinness
I
snaps.
can't wait for the creamy points at Christmas.
Oh, Gravediggers, what's happening?
Definitely. But besides the current situation with Guinness, or the ongoing situation, as it was Belarus, as was Kostas.
Shout out Dirty Michael. It's like Tourette's with us, man. We can't not talk about Dirty Michael. What's the other fella's name? What's the fella's name out in Malahide?
Oh,
Johnny Beep Beep or something.
Johnny Beep Beep. One of the lads in work was telling me about another lad called Johnny Beep Beep.
Oh God!
In Malahide, the local nutter, and apparently
because we all have one.
Apparently he's upgraded to a bike, but apparently he was driving around in a bin for a while.
Oh my God! Just get a backer in the green bins.
So there's even worse than Dirty Michael's apparently. But yeah, that was my week. I also went to a psychologist last week
for the golf.
For my golf, yeah, for sports psychology. Just said here, give it a bash, might do something, but I don't think it did. But yeah, I was at the psychologist last week. Seen the Chelsea poster in the back of my room because it was on Zoom or something. She's seen the Chelsea poster. She was like, "You support Chelsea?" A very wealthy owner. I was like, yeah, I was thinking the same about Stan Kroenke there, who just does not invest. And then I mentioned Brentford once, I think, and she started crying. And I was just thinking to myself, the irony of this, like, I'm at the psychologist
and you're
trying to get help, and the psychologist has now broken down crying in front of me, and now I'm giving the psychology. And I've still paid a few quid for it. So yeah, that was
everyone's a winner.
She charged me. She charged me a few quid to give her a lesson in psychology. So there you go. Arsenal does that to a person.
Yeah, God bless them.
It's quite sad. Yeah. And hopefully they do get help soon. The Arsenal fans, Ty included.
Yeah, God bless Ty. Yeah, I feel sorry for Ty. Him and his little delusional whatever, but yeah, Arsenal fan TV is good watching.
Yeah,
I think they kind of put it on though. Really, I think it's all a bit of an act. No one gets that wound up by football. I know I'm a big football fanatic.
Yeah,
but these people like put a camera in front of them and they go, Arteta out. No, mate, just calm your cacks with it. It's game football.
Just actually analyse the game, like instead of just.
To be fair, Arteta probably should be out.
I should, yeah.
Yeah.
I think my players are shit. But yeah, that was my week. Oh yeah, I'm going to Rome as well.
Oh, happy days, yeah.
It's a coming Rome.
It's coming Rome.
I love that video, Bonucci and Chiellini.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought after watching Italy win Euros, the romanticism of it all.
Yeah.
I had to say, we have to go Rome. Me and the lads are going over to Rome.
Happy days.
And we're going for 5 days, I think. Lovely. 4 days. A little city break.
Nice.
And I'm going to buy...
A little gals trip.
The gals.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy myself a Tammy Abraham Roma jersey.
They won't let you out of the country if you have that.
We'll see. Certainly I'll probably get jumped by a Lazio fan because we know
probably, yeah.
We know about them. But yeah, that's it, really. So our Hall of Fame this week includes a star-studded field.
Yeah.
So
you can tell we recorded this once, didn't we? We're kind of trying to think about what we said. Yeah, so basically my Hall of Fame pick this week, if you don't mind, it's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with a good friend of myself and Dave. He knows Dave better than I do. I'm going with forward Madison midfielder, young Irishman, Aaron Malloy. He scored a great goal against the Toronto 2 in the USL this week for forward Madison. And it was a cracking goal.
Gorgeous goal. You showed me it downstairs.
Yeah, beautiful. He's a cracking little player. Love to see him involved in the setup. And yeah, just a little tribute to him. So I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame this week.
On Aaron. My Hall of Fame pick, going on to a bit of the nonsensical side, I'm going to nominate Adele, Hometown Glory, from her album from her album 19. It's actually about 10 years old now, that song. But
Adele, come here, before we delve into the song and why you're picking it, every Adele song's absolutely amazing. Yeah. Like, she's actually a great artist. Like, continue on, but I'm just saying.
But essentially, I watched the Tammy Abraham Goodbye video, and he had it playing over, and it brought me to literal tears. It's so
tears of joy.
don't know. It's just so emotional. Like,
Yeah,
I watched it about 7 or 8 times. It's a really sad song.
Oh god.
Or really, I don't know.
I like the way I could just imagine you watching it the first time and crying, and then going, "Sod it, I'll watch it again, see do I cry again," and then you're just crying for about an hour. Oh my god.
From my hometown.
The fair is like you sent it into the chat, and I looked at it and I heard the first note. I was like, "Nah, I'm not watching that. I'll be upset." I couldn't give a shit about Tammy Abraham, and I would be upset that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't watch it. So
I think Phil, the United fan in World, watched it, and he said he started crying as well.
Oh, Philly,
yeah,
getting Philly with it. Nah, Phil, what's up?
Phil
mate?
out.
Yeah, crank you. But yeah, so that is Aaron Malloy of Ford Madison this week against
Adele, hometown glory.
looking to join Thomas Frank, a young Brentford fan.
Connor Salmon the Bouncer.
Only OGs know that. We have the Sex on the Beach from Mimas, and we have McElhenney's goal away to Vitesse. So yeah, Aaron Malloy versus Adele.
And get your votes in on the polls up on the Instagram page. And that's that. The main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
The Premier League football. Week 2.
The Premier League?
The Premier League. The first game of the weekend. The half-12 kickoff, Adam.
The big one.
Burnley, the mighty Burnley against Liverpool.
Sean Dyche's gravel munching Burnley against Liverpool. Yeah, do you know what? Cracking performance from the Reds. Super performance. I think we talked about the game last week against Norwich and not getting out of gear, not getting out of first gear. They just controlled the game. They were really good. I thought the difference Van Dijk makes in the defence and not having to have a midfielder there is great. Like, you know what I mean? We see for the first goal, he wins the ball halfway line. I think Tsimikas gets it, and then lovely cross, bang, header by Jota. It was a lovely goal, but Van Dijk played a part in it. And then the second goal was unbelievable. I swear to God, if Ings hadn't scored the goal he scored against Newcastle, we'd be talking about this Liverpool goal all day. We would, because the play was brilliant. I'm telling you now, Cran, you're shaking your head. It was the second best goal of the weekend, 100%.
I really liked the Damari Gray one as well.
The Gray one as well, yeah.
But yeah, I thought Harvey Elliott was brilliant as well.
Yeah, he played a part in the goal as well. So ball over to Elliott. Elliott with like lead in his chest just took it down into Salah to Trent a little dink to Mane, and a lovely finish. I thought Pope was awful all game. I didn't think he got too many things, but yeah.
Call the Vatican. Pope was awful.
Yeah, really good performance, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the game on Saturday now against Chelsea.
Come on, Chelsea.
It's gonna be a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big one.
Anfield. It's going to be a very tough game. I don't know how Liverpool are playing 3 games in a row at Anfield, but
2 games. We were away to Norwich.
Oh yeah. Never mind. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of dreading that one because I think that could be a very tough game in Anfield, especially.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea are riding the crest of a wave.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very difficult to stop us. But at the same time, you're playing Liverpool at Anfield at home, so it's going to be a formidable test.
The only thing that I would be worried about being a Chelsea fan is obviously the fact that Liverpool are still one of the best teams in the league. Is the fact that we haven't gotten out of first gear. What is our performance like when we do? Now Chelsea's a different proposition to Burnley and Norwich, don't get me wrong. I think it'll be a clash of the times. It's going to be a great game, and look at, we'll talk about United to come, but the last few leagues and the past few seasons have been based on teams going on winning runs and sustaining that. So it'll be interesting to see, can Liverpool sustain it or can Chelsea sustain it? I think Lukaku against Van Dijk is going to be a massive test for
class,
Virgil,
isn't it?
Yeah, it will be good.
Yeah.
And the last time they played against each other, Romelu was playing for United. So obviously he's a completely different player now. He's a beast now. He's after trimming down everything. He's like,
and his hold up has got very good as well.
And his all general play, apart from the goal scoring, of course, which he always had. He always had the goal scoring. Yeah, I'm expecting a good game. It's gonna be a tight affair. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
It's gonna make for a good podcast next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll move on very swiftly to Brentford against the mighty Crystal Palace, and this was Crystal Palace playing at home for the first time this season. Patrick Vieira had his big red jacket on.
Took a trip to the Palace shop.
Finally,
they gave him a voucher.
He walked in and he said, "Gives that big red jacket." But he had a big Crystal Palace crest on.
Have you got a membership with the club? I am the manager. No, you're not. No, you're not. And then they just gave it to him.
But yeah, he was wearing his big red jacket. I think, yeah, to sum up the game, Brentford had the majority of the play. I think they performed better in the game. I thought Ivan Toney had a handful of chances he could have buried at any moment.
Yeah.
And I still think Toney could bag 15 this season. We'll see. But he definitely has the potential to do it.
I think he has to start for him.
Yeah. Wasn't clinical enough there on Saturday.
If Brentford are to sustain themselves in the Premier League, they'll be relying on Toney to get a few goals, and I hope he comes good. To be fair, I think he's a great player.
Yeah, but from a Palace perspective, I thought they were alright. I still think they could be in trouble this season.
Yeah.
I think it'll be very tough for them, but I still think they'll stay up, hopefully, because they are good for the league. I think Palace having them in the league. I don't know what you think. Is that
I despise Palace, so I hope they go down. But
Roy Hudson.
Look, Palace are a good team. I think they're heavily reliant on Wilfried Zaha, and the fact that he hasn't gotten the move away from Palace, I think speaks volumes about him himself. No doubt in his ability on the ball and etc. He's a great little player, but has he got the ability to get to the next level? Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a cracking little player. But they need players like him. Benteke was good towards the end of last season. They need players like them to come good, which they usually do. And I think Vieira has a tough job in his hands, of course.
Yeah. Otherwise, to sum the game up, it was a boring 0-0.
Yeah.
That's that.
So I was looking at Leeds and everything, and what a game of football! It really was a cracking game of football.
I caught the end of it. Very good.
Do you know what it is? I think it was end to end, and both teams kind of put it up to each other quite well. But there's something about both teams that just, for me, isn't sitting right. Like, I think, I don't know what it is with Leeds. We talked about it before. We touched on it briefly.
Yeah.
They do need investment for me. I think the likes of like Cooper at the back, he's only in the starting 11 because he's the captain. As soon as Llorente comes back, or even get Cock in. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Because Cooper, he gave away. Did you see the penalty he gave away?
Yeah.
So he gave away the penalty, and he was just tugging. He was just taking, like, he was all over Calvert-Lewin.
Bit stupid, wasn't it?
Silly play, like, and I can understand in the sense that, like, the striker does it to you, you do it back. I get that, but the striker never usually gets in trouble for it. You know what I mean? It's always the defender that gets in trouble for it. And Calvert-Lewin would have put it away. And anyways, it was a lovely penalty as well. I don't know what he's seen the Buddha on the side of the goal. Did you see him rubbing his belly? It was like me. He tried to put Calvert-Lewin off. He couldn't.
You tried that with Calvert-Lewin as well.
Yeah, but he would hit it over if it was me. He'd be too drawn to my like hairy chest.
Your physical presence.
But Damari Gray was very good in the game as well.
That was a savage goal.
His goal was great. So the ball comes into him and he takes a poor touch and it kind of goes behind him. But he just digs down and just whah. What a lovely finish. Great goal. It was a lovely goal. And then Leeds' goal was good as well. Tidy finish by Klitsch. But Rafinha's goal,
the equaliser.
What a goal. And I think if Jordan Pickford had normal sized arms, he might have saved it. But he didn't. The moment of the match for me, and I'll be honest, I know I don't want to drag on too long, was Yerry Mina in the game. And I don't particularly like him. He was immense all game.
Yeah.
I love that kind of shithouse in the team. He was great. And the last minute header, it's up there at the moment of the weekend for me, that header, because pressure on Ellen Road away, and Ellen Road would be a tough place to go for teams this season. Ball in from, I think it was the right from Roberts or Aylan or something.
Luke Aylan.
Who the fuck is Luke Aylan? And Yerry Meany just gets in front of Bamford. Wah! Away it goes, and ended 2-2 in the end. It was a great game. And yeah.
Another 3 o'clock game I had was Villa against Newcastle. And what a goal from Danny Ings. Dings, as I like to call him.
Lord of the Ings.
A long throw-in special. Just hoof the ball into the box. Rory to lap style. Flick on from Mings to Ings.
Brings you back, doesn't it, really?
Danny Dings. That is magic. I have a few more things written down here. I thought Newcastle were terrible. I think they're going to really struggle this season. Steve Bruce. We'll talk about Arteta a bit later, but Steve Bruce is up there with next manager to be sacked. Newcastle were terrible.
I have a good start here, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Danny Ings' goal, assisted by Tyrone Mings, is the first Premier League goal with the goal scorer sharing 80% of the assist maker's name since Moise Kean assisted Michael Keane in September 2019. Now come here, I have a question, right? Question to the masses. Who takes note of that? Who takes note of that? Goes, you know what, they have similar names. Jot it down, quick, get it. Such a weird stat, but there you go, stat nonetheless.
They're just like, sitting there, wow, Mings to Ings. I have to create a stat about this.
I have to look it up. Hold on. And I'm sure there's probably more. I'm sure there's probably something else, but yeah, that's it.
Another 3 o'clock, Adam.
Yeah,
the 3 o'clocks are back, baby.
3 o'clocks are back, and they're firing. I had City and Norwich at 3 o'clock. City winning, I think it was 5-0 in the end, wasn't it? 5-0 Man City.
Where are you? Let's be having.
That's Norwich's best thing. Norwich are most famous for Delia Smith. I don't know if you ever watched her cooking.
I love her cooking.
Some of her cooking's amazing.
And her cooking's better than Norwich, that's for sure.
Like I remember watching something at Christmas for, and she was making the Christmas dinner, and she basted the turkey with like butter and all. Oh, it was lovely. It looked great. She put honeycomb on the ham, and
the turkey's stuffed a bit like Norwich themselves against City.
A bit like Daniel Farka, the little piggy from Shrek.
When you said that to me, I was absolutely pissing myself in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, but then she made like these little roastos as well, little golden things, and what she done was she parboils them, takes them out, puts them in like the chip pan, takes them out for a bit, puts them back in, gets them nice and crispy and fluffy, and then she had like asparagus with chili and all over. It's beautiful. As you can see by talking about Delia Smith, the City game, as eventful as it wasn't really that eventful. they just trampled all over.
Shout out to Delia.
Yeah, yup Delia. I literally have written here City were immense. That was literally it. One of the things.
Full stop.
That was it. They were great, like, you know what I mean.
But like that's the thing with City, they can go and stuff Norwich 5-0, but they need to learn how to win the big games.
Yeah, like I mean, like one of the goals, right? One of the goals that did you see the goal Grealish scored?
Yeah.
Now it's just a testament to Norwich's defending. The goal that Grealish scored was like something you'd see in the Phoenix Park or some of our pro clubs. Like it was a dreadful goal, and. Look, come here. I do think City are back. You know what I mean? Laporte and Diaz were great. Norwich had one shot and goal in the whole game and had 0.07 expected goals. So that means they barely got out of half, more or less.
Yeah.
And and the last thing I have is just for City, based on them, £1 billion squad, most expensive player ever in the Premier League, first home game, full capacity in 15 months or something. They still can't fill out their ground. How sad is that?
Shocking, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's it. We go on to the next 3 o'clock kickoff.
Right, so the 5:30 game on Saturday was an absolute stinker. Whoever decided, let's put Watford Brighton as a 5:30 game needs to be sacked. Terrible decision.
Terrible.
I think Leeds and Everton should definitely have been the designated 5:30 game.
Terrible. Sorry, I'm just doing what Joe Duffy does. Sorry.
Joe
will get a phone calls like, my dog's after dying. I went home and the house was on fire, and he'll just go, terrible. You know what I mean?
Thanks for the advice, Joe. But no, I thought Brighton were fantastic in this game. Duffy, a renaissance, I have captioned. Is it the Shane Duffy renaissance we're all looking for?
No.
I don't think so. But a great header nonetheless.
Yeah,
top bins. But yeah, I thought Basuma was very good. They were talking on Match of the Day, singing his praises. I thought he was a very good player.
Yeah,
in the game.
He was unbelievable.
And I have last thing I'm going to say about this game is Graham Potter equals Harry Potter. Because I think what he's doing at Brighton, is just fantastic. You know,
you're a wizard, Potter.
It's like Harry Potter has grown up and became Graham Potter, manager of Brighton.
Oh god!
But no, I actually think what he's doing at Brighton is pretty good. Like when they sacked Chris Hughton, we were like, fuck, you know, Chris Hughton, he was great. You know, he was great fit for Brighton. But it was very bold bringing in a manager that actually wants to play football.
Yeah,
and I think it's paid out to a certain extent.
I think he'll be due a big job after this.
He will
with the likes, even of Arsenal
or England.
England could go. Just to touch on Basuma real quick, by the way.
Yeah.
He's exactly for me, and you probably disagree with me. maybe the only team he doesn't get into in the league is probably Chelsea. I genuinely think he gets in every single team in the Premier League.
Possibly,
I think he's unbelievable. And great performance from him.
The Saturday game's out of the way. Obviously, a lot of drama Sunday. And that's what we want to talk about.
Do you want to kick off Sunday with Spurs game?
I want to kick off Sunday with the Spuds, the Spurs, and Nuno Sancho's Miami. I think Nuno is doing a great job so far with Spurs. He's having a lot of squad discontent, I suppose, with the Harry Kane situation, and he's managing it well. So fair play to Nuno. 2-1-0 so far, and that's the Nuno way, isn't it? 2-1-0. But I think great performance by Spurs again. But it just felt wrong having Nuno come back to Wolves like so early. It's like, you know, it's heartbreak period for them.
Yeah, it's like breaking up with your girlfriend and then going out with your new girl, and like you just see your ex there at the same place.
You go for a double date or something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there you are. What's the story? How are you? I miss you so much.
But yeah, all the Wolves fans were like, they were happy to have him back, but it was sort of like strange to see him in Spurs gear.
To be fair, what I will say for it is, if you're a Wolves fan, Nuno got them up. He got them, I think they got to a final or semi-final of the FA Cup. Got them into Europe. Like, there's a certain ceiling for Wolves that he can reach with them.
Yeah. And
there's a certain ceiling for him that maybe he feels he can reach. So I think the Wolves fans were quite welcome in the end, weren't they?
They're fair play to them. And yeah, Ali got his goal. I know you predicted at the start of the season.
I'm delighted for him.
He's gonna have a great. He's like he's just turned himself into Ruud Hulla.
Yeah. Well, for fuck's sake, like we're saying about Nuno there and the squad discontentment or whatever.
Yeah.
To take a player like Dele Alli back into the fold, who wasn't happy at the club. Like, he didn't want to be there when Mourinho was there. He was kind of shunned from them. To take him back in, and I didn't think against City he was too good, but yesterday he was very good. Yesterday he really turned up.
He's just he's suddenly turned into like a pro club's character, you know. And he's actually performing a lot better. Yeah, you were talking about the Adama miss, the game of sitters, I call this, because I was watching Spurs as well attacking. They were missing a lot of sitters as well.
Well, Wolves have had, since the first Premier League game against Leicester, I've had 42 shots on goal and haven't scored one. So I think you can forgive Jimenez to an extent because it was head injury, and it will take time for him to become fit and firing again. But a player like Traore, he was true one-on-one with Lloris. And look, it's not like he's true one-on-one with Mendy or Oblak or Alisson or Edison, who kind of are the top of the top goalkeepers in the world. He could have done umpteen things against Lloris there, and he just said, you know what, I'll hit it right at him and see what happens. And he didn't score, obviously. But seemingly he's on his way to Spurs now as well. What do you think of that?
I think, he's a great asset off the bench, especially.
Yeah.
I think he's a great someone to bring on.
I don't actually think they need him.
No, they don't. No.
Just with regards to who they've played so far with Bergwijn and Lucas Moura has been good. And
he's still a fucking threat, though. You know, someone to bring on or whatever.
I still think if Kane is to leave, that they might dip in for Jimenez as well. So.
And I thought one last thing about this game, the Kane thing at the end, it looked a bit like sour grapes, didn't it?
Yeah.
He was clapping the fans and he was walking off in a huff.
Yeah.
Sort of caressing his hair.
What a pro, huh? What a pro. He goes training. What a professional. Does his job. No. It's a bit of a shambles, that situation, and I do think it's going to end with him in a City jersey, unfortunately.
Yeah. You want to talk about Southampton Man United?
Southampton and Man United. Yeah. What's the story with United? What is the story there? 1-1 in the end. And I'll be deadly serious with you. After United scored, and by the way, we'll get into it, but Pogba was very good in the game.
He was, yeah.
After United scored, I think there was about 15 minutes of pressure after, where they were kind of on top, but they were on top without actually creating chances. And then Southampton went, these are here for the taking. Let's go at them, and they did. And coming out of the game, I actually genuinely thought Southampton were more of a threat to United than United were to them in the end. Yeah. They looked a bit better. Shout out to Livramento. I don't think what he's saying in the game, but Livramento, what a player for Southampton.
That's
cracking.
the fellow I saw, man.
Yeah, cracking.
5 million from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Youth Academy Player of the Season last season.
Very good.
He was very good. Yeah.
He had a superb first half. United just weren't great. Like, I think if you start the game with Fred and Matic, you're looking for trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Matic, as time in Chelsea, was one of the best in the league. Just think he's past it now. Pogba was great, but then he kind of faded out of the game. The goal was great, by the way. He was instrumental in the goal, going towards the goal, and he used his Shaw's run on the outside, cut inside, a little ball into Bruno back to Pogba, bang, Greenwood goal. Now. It was a great goal from him. It was a great goal by Greenwood, great finish. Maybe McCarthy should have saved it.
And shout out to Che Adams as well for his goal.
Che Adams, yeah. I was about to say, it was never a foul on Bruno, by the way. Never a foul in a million years. It was never a foul. Solskjaer coming out after going, it was a foul. You know, it's gone back 20 years. It's that. No, it's not. Stevens just steps in front of Bruno. Bruno falls to the ground into Che Adams and bam, 1-0 it was. And yeah, I thought Maguire was quite poor as well throughout the game. There was a save by De Gea where Armstrong should have scored, but Maguire was dispossessed. But I have written down here the highlight of the match was when Maguire rugby, like Solskjaer said something about rugby. Maguire literally rugby tackled, I think it was Armstrong. It was hilarious. Yeah, and the last image I have was I don't know whether you agree with this, but Hassan Hootel was the image of Pierce Brosnan in Mamma Mia. That's
what I literally have written down here. Hassan Hootel waistcoat. He's going to his brother's wedding.
I was looking at it, I was like, is that Pierce Brosnan? Like Mamma Mia was like it was like he was in Greece.
Man, he was off to his brother's wedding after the game. I swear to God, the way he was dressed, he had like Stan Smiths on as well.
Oh God! Right, so
he had to be somewhere after, I think.
Yeah. We'll move on to the last game of the weekend, the big one.
Yeah. What can I say, Adam? What can I say? Obviously, Arsenal, they were very bad, and it looks to be a bad situation at Arsenal at the moment. But I thought what Lukaku did to their centre-backs was absolutely immense. In his first game for Chelsea, he put down a statement, he scored a goal, and I just thought to myself, it's crazy, because Chelsea haven't had a good striker in years, like since Kostas, I'd say. Yeah. It's crazy the difference a good striker makes. To even the play, like at the start, when they're hitting it up to him, he's holding everyone up, he's bringing more players into the game. Chelsea haven't had that in years.
It's the thing with that is it's a vocal point.
Yeah.
Like there was times in the game where like Rudiger would get on the ball. I think it happened once or twice. And instead of passing through midfield or out wide, he literally just passes straight up to Lukaku. And Lukaku has the ability to just hold it, plays it out wide, and they just build from there. Like he's I like Timo Werner, but the difference, there's a stark difference between what a player like Lukaku can do for your team and a player like Werner can.
Yeah.
And after the game, Lukaku said he thought his performance was dominant. Spot on. He was great. He was very good.
And Chelsea haven't had that focal point in years, so it's very good to see. And two brilliant goals. Reece James was fantastic. I think he deserves a shout out. But yeah, from an Arsenal standpoint, it's looking quite grim,
isn't it?
Yeah, I was talking to my mate who's an Arsenal fan. He's thinking, look, it's time to let Arteta go.
It's time to go.
Shout out, Big Claude.
R.I.P.
But my mate, he's from America, big Arsenal fan. He said Arteta, I think, needs to go for the sake of the club. They have great players, Smith Rowe, Saka. I think Tierney's very good as well.
They have very good young players.
Yeah,
like, they're very promising. Like even Maitland-Niles and Reece Nelson on the bench, they're very good.
For the sake of them, I think it's time to move on, because otherwise they'll be looking for a move away. They'll be thinking, Arsenal, that's not good enough for me anymore. That's not good enough for me anymore, and that's that. Like Arsenal need a change.
For a top club.
And I think at the start as well, I predicted I didn't rate Arteta.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I think this is going to be a season for Arsenal where Arteta gets sacked mid-season.
Yeah.
And so far, I'm being proven right, because Arteta, it just doesn't look good. I think Conte is available. Get Conte in.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
That was the weekend. That was
the weekend. That was
a good weekend. I would say.
Yeah.
We'll go. Joe, we'll go to our gold weekend. What do you think? It has to be Ings.
Ings. I have Ings written
Danny
down.
Ings.
I have. Hold on. Goal of the week. Dings.
Daniel Ings now, a cracking goal.
A pinging goal for Danny Ings.
What about God of the Week? Who's your God of the Week this week?
I think God of the Week can't look further than Lukaku for his performance.
I'm gonna go God of the Week for me. Kostas Tsimikas against Burnley. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Like I have a few.
A Chelsea player and a Liverpool player. Who would have thought?
The shock. Now, in fairness, I had a United player last week.
Paul Rudd in.
Yeah. I had a United player last week, to be fair.
Yeah.
But Tsimikas against Burnley. So he had one assist. He had 409 crosses complete, 74% accuracy in passing. He won 7 duels, 2 aerial duels, and he had 3 clearances. He's very good for a player who had little expectation of being good. He was very, very good.
Yeah. And our cod of the week.
This fella Ronaldo is a cod.
Cod of the week. This week we have Mikel Arteta. I am Arteta. I think my squad is shit, and
he's like a little Spanish sailor, isn't he? He's like a sailor. I'm sorry if I cut across. I had to cut across. The performance is bad. Like the performance against Brentford, it's as if he doesn't know the teams he's playing against, and he just puts the team out. Was like, go on, lads, do your best. But it's like it's not good enough.
And his interviews, he's always making excuses. He's like, my players, we do not have a striker. We do not have Aubameyang. All this.
I know. Come here. He couldn't manage to piss up in a brewery.
Mikel.
So, Euro Treasure this week, Cran. What have you got for Euro Trash?
I have Massimiliano Allegri. Fair enough not starting Ronaldo. No, actually not fair enough. That's the reason I fucking put him in Euro Trash this week. Regardless on like if he wants to leave or not. It's Cristiano Ronaldo you're putting on the bench, who's fully fit, according to all senses of the word. And he just doesn't start him. Like, that deserves Euro Trash for me.
Yeah. No, come here. I think the only thing with it is Ronaldo's looking to get out. But at the same time, if Ronaldo's fit, you play him. There's no two ways about it. Like, I couldn't believe myself that he didn't play. But yeah, and he came on and he scored what looked like the winner, and then VAR ruled it out, and he got booked for taking his top off. So yeah, a bit of a
difficult Ronaldo taking his top off. Yeah.
If I looked like Ronaldo, I'd walk around topless every day. I don't blame him. Yeah. I don't envy. Well, I mean, I do envy him. I don't blame him at all. But yeah, my Euro Trash this week comes from Liga. Yeah, I don't know what he's saying, the Nice and Marseille game, but the scenes in France were unbelievable. So basically, Dimitri Payet gets hit by a bottle thrown from a Nice fan. So as you do, he lobs it back at them. Absolute brawls ensue. Like, the supporters stormed the pitch and turned it into a brawl. The Marseille assistant manager, I don't know where you've seen this video, I'll put it up on social, it's the funniest video you'll see. The Marseille assistant managers run onto the pitch, and one of them just literally sparked out the Nice fan, just went wha bam, and he was out cold, like it was gas. They have their manager, Marseille's manager is Jorge Sampaoli, and I don't know whether you know who he is, but he's a Chilean. He's Chilean, like, and he was a Chile manager for a while, and he's a head case, like he's off his rocker. He was trying to headbutt people and all, it was gas. But yeah, there was pictures of it after with Lucas Perez and Matteo Guendouzi having like strangle marks on their neck and all from the Nice fans. So absolute crazy scenes in France. But
talk about Nice, it wasn't very nice.
It wasn't nice at all. Oh god, right, so that was my Euro Trash. The match was abandoned in the end, and I don't know what he's saying, the still picture at the end, but like the Nice players came back out as if they were defending the corner, and the Marseille players like, no, we're not playing, like fuck that. But yeah, what's your Euro Treasure this week?
My Euro Treasure this week, I was watching this game yesterday, I think we all were. It was Tammy Abraham's debut for Roma against Fiorentina. And Serie A, I think I've fallen in love with Serie A.
I fell in love with Serie A.
I'm going to Roma Napoli in the Stadio Olimpico, fingers crossed. And look, I was very, very impressed by a player, I don't know his first name, but Veretout. Yeah. I thought he was fantastic. Tammy Abraham, obviously, he made 2 goals and he crossed it in for Veretout for one of them. But the third goal I was especially impressed with. A lovely little turn, left-footed finish past the keeper. And I thought Roma got off to a great start in Serie A in front of the home fans.
Yeah, great. I seen a bit of the game, and yeah, cracking game, cracking result. And I think there was 2 sending offs, bit suspect, but great goals by him. And fair play to Tammy as well. 2 assists for him is always good to see, you know.
Yeah. And he'll be back at Chelsea in 3 years.
No, you're playing at Crystal Palace in 3 years.
Your Euro Treasure, Adam.
My Euro Treasure comes from the Serie A as well. And as we talked about a couple of weeks back on the podcast, we talked about wild cards for the season. Yeah. So I have a keen interest in Atalanta this year, and they won 2-1 the last minute with a goal that can only be described as Sunday League defending. It was awful defending. But yeah, Atalanta got the win the last minute, 2-1 against Torino. First of all, they came out all guns blazing, and they're missing a few players as well, by the way, but they came out all guns blazing. Muriel got a goal like within 5 minutes, and it was a screamer. Torino came back into it, and they, to be fair to Torino, they controlled the game there on in, and yeah, Atalanta scored in the last minute, and the goal was awful. It comes to Muriel again, I think, and he passed into some young fella. I think his name is Dammers or something. I don't know his name. I'm not going to claim to know his name. I can't remember. But the scenes in the Atalanta away end was great. I'd love to go over to Atalanta, to Bergamo, to see a game. And yeah, so yeah, great win for Atalanta. Not Atlanta, Atlanta.
Get it out!
Get out, Manchester!
In this week's Get It Out, we have a very special segment. Our top 5 favourite own goals. Own goals. They're just a sort of niche, sort of I don't know how to describe it. A lovely thing to watch.
When I see an own goal, it makes me feel much better about myself and my lack of footballing ability. Some of them are hilarious, you know what I mean? And there's own goal merchants, like I think I have Richard Dunn written down, you have Phil Jones written down.
Yeah. Like
some of these own goals are hilarious, you know.
We'll start with our 5th. So my 5th, I watched this game in the Euros. It was a cracking game of football. Unai Simon versus Croatia. I just remember thinking, Pedri, he passes it back to Unai Simon. Unai Simon just doesn't look at the ball, and it just goes through him, and he's like, he just puts his hands up like, what just happened? And then the ball just trickles into the goal. Like, that's fucking an own goal.
Yeah. No, he literally had a hole in his foot. That was literally it. He's terrible goalkeeping. But yeah.
I don't wonder what he was thinking at that moment in time. Luckily, Spain went on to win the game. What is your 5th? What is your 5th own goal?
My 5th own goal, and it's an own goal by technicality. It's the beach ball that Sunderland scored by against Liverpool in 2008.
What a goal by the beach ball!
And it's an own goal purely because a Liverpool fan threw the ball onto the pitch.
Yeah.
It was a Liverpool beach ball, like they're on an away day, fucking Egypt, and he threw it onto the pitch, and Darren Bent's shot hit the beach ball and went past Pepe Reina.
How did it even count?
How did it get on? How did it get as far as the goal? Like a goal mouth with people in it. Like why didn't one of them kick it away? But yeah, that's my 5th best own goal.
That was so bizarre. Like,
yeah, Liverpool lost 1-0 as well, which makes it just worse. I remember being, actually, just story time. I remember being in a pub with my dad watching that, and when the goal went in, like I was only about 11 or 10 or something at the time. And I was in the height when I was like, how can they let that happen? How did a beach ball score? And I remember being in the pub and everyone's like, oh, that's the 12th man, the referee has it in for us and all this. Like, no, he literally, and then, like looking back on it now, I was like, yeah, fuck the referee.
The beach ball has it
back
in.
on it, yeah, you know what I mean. Looking back on it, how would you say, an inanimate object literally scored against Liverpool.
It's like the Hall of Fame.
In the record books, it says beach ball versus Liverpool. How? Sorry, go on. Number 4 for yourself.
So my number 4, I have Paul Robinson / Gary Neville written down because it was just Gary Neville's back pass and Paul Robinson just completely missed it. Like, it's something just so bizarre, even worse than the Unai Simon against Croatia as well. Croatia seem to have a habit of like these random like keeper own goals.
Pure luck, isn't it?
I think it's witchcraft.
Yeah,
I don't know. Luka Modric.
Would you be into that kind of witchcraft?
I know Croatia are anyway. Paul Robinson, just absolute shite. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm sure you all remember.
Idiot.
Number 4 for you, Adam.
Yeah, so I have. Don't you wish your right back was Cha-Do-Ree of Celtic? Celtic in the Europa League against Rennes in 2011. So basically, right, it's a funny own goal. I'll show you. So Cha-Do-Ree is facing his own goal, going back towards Fraser Forster under absolutely zero pressure, and just pass it past him, and it goes into the goal. And the best thing about it is he walks away laughing. Like, he hits it, he scores no goals, just like walks away laughing. He's like, come here, look at these things happen. You're in Celtic Park, mate. You're not in the Phoenix Park. You know what I mean? Putting it past Fraser Forster, and I think Celtic drew the game 1-1 in the end. But yeah, that's my 4th top OG. What an idiot.
Why 3rd own goal?
Oh my god.
It's Phil Jones versus Newcastle.
The goal.
Just like, I don't even know what happened. It's like a punt forward by the goalkeeper. Phil Jones, he's under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. The keeper's coming out to claim the ball.
The ball just gets drawn to him, doesn't it? He has a magnet in his shorts or something.
And Phil Jones, it's like head height, or it's knee height, and he bends down, heads it past the keeper. The keeper's like in no man's land. It just rolls into the net. Oh god. Right, your third.
My third is Colo Touré, Fulham versus Liverpool in 2014. So cross in from Kieran Richardson, the left back of Fulham, and it comes all the way across the box. And Colo Touré, I've never seen a player wind up to kick a ball more and miss. And he just completely slices it. It just goes in. Now, in fairness, look at, if a striker does that, you're like, oh, that's a cracking finish. Ball goes into his own net. But yeah, that was a cracking on goal. So funny. Literally, like, whoosh, fired him. And like, you're looking at Touré, and Colo Touré, right? He's the only player in history to do 2 invincible seasons. If you think, like, he is, I swear to God. And he just does that. Hilarious on goal. Good player. Good, great character, as Brendan Rodgers would say. And yeah, fired into his own net. Great finish from your number 2.
My number 2. I just remember watching this League Cup game. So much pressure on it. I don't know who was the man. I think it was Sarri at the time. Trippier. It's like pass back to him. It's a simple bit of defending. All he had to do was kick it out for a throw. Instead, he just like passes it past Lloris. I'm thinking to myself, what the genuine fuck? Like, he's just after like just kicks it into the right corner like a striker would, under absolutely no pressure. Oh yeah, let's just pass it past the keeper instead of just passing it back to him. I think it was the League Cup. Chelsea went 1-0 up, and I think Hazard scored after, and they won 2-0.
Number 2 for me, it has to be Richard Dunn. We had to get him in at some stage, shouldn't we? It's his own goal against. We did. I think he has the most own goals in Premier League history.
Yeah.
It's his own goal versus Man City. Excuse me. It's his own goal when he played for Man City against West Brom. And the ball is hoofed up by West Brom. Just goes over Richard Dunn's head. Complete miscommunication with David James and goal at the time. And it just hits his shins and goes in. And it's a terrible own goal. Like, it's one of them where you go, what are you doing? But yeah, that's my second own goal.
I don't know, Jeff.
There's been a goal, Chris Kamara, before you. For Richard Dunn, he's put it into his own net again.
Sending Kamara.
Oh, sending.
Number 1. Phil Jones versus Spurs. This is my all-time favourite own goal. It's a cross in from Spurs, and Phil Jones just absolutely wellies the ball. Like, you can't even call it a clearance. He just wellies it into the top corner. He walks past and he just bangs his head off the stanchion of the goal. Just absolutely whacks his head off the stanchion. And you're just thinking, that's another brain cell gone.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if he had any to begin with. No.
That's Philly's
Phil Jones. He gets 2 good for you. Just see, he's not giving up his number for Varane. He's number 4. Varane's like, can I have that? No, mate. It's my number. He's dead right as well, I suppose.
Oh, God.
But yeah, my number 1 is Gareth Bale versus Liverpool. So I don't know whether you've ever seen this one. 2012 it was. Corner in by John Joe Shelby. And
John Joe,
the horologist, headed by Danny Agger onto Stevie G, who heads it into the bottom corner. And Aaron Lennon's on the line. And when I say he kicks the ball, he absolutely hoofs it off Gareth Bale's face, and it just goes in. And it's such a good own goal.
Yeah.
As far as it goes, it's such a good own goal. But yeah, that's they're my top 5. So my top 5 would be Beach Ball for versus Liverpool, Chadiuri versus Rennes, Colo Touré versus Fulham, Richard Dunn versus West Brom, and Gareth Bale versus Liverpool.
So my top 5: Unai Simon versus Croatia, Paul Robinson / Gary Neville against Croatia, Phil Jones against Newcastle, Trippier against Chelsea, and Phil Jones against Spurs. We'll just read out some of your favourite own goals.
Yeah,
right?
we have a few here. Jimmy Traore says Jer. That was a good one against Burnley. I think he's tried to clear with his right foot, a bit like Touré.
Yeah.
Just bobbled in. You have Jerry saying Company versus Fulham. And funny enough, I had that written down as honourable mentions. Yeah. I don't know whether you've ever seen it.
I think I have.
And he just whacks with his left foot. And literally, I think it's Joe Hart and all the time. And it just literally goes over his head and shoulders. Yeah, did you get it? Because he's on head and shoulders. Yeah, I hear him here all day. So it goes over his head and into the net. We have Eno saying Scott Wooten versus Watford. Oh my god, it sounds dreadful. In the FA Cup for Leeds. He just says one of the worst players I've ever seen. Senan says Bell versus Liverpool, and that was it. We had another one, Chris Shields against Monaghan. Can't say I've seen that, but it was in the 2010 playoff.
The Monaghan.
Do 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 do.
The Monaghan.
Do 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 do.
The Monaghan.
Do 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 do. And that was for Dundalk against Monaghan 2010 in a playoff. Dundalk are in the relegation playoffs again now. Club with some of the most amount of money spent in Ireland's history in the league, and they're in the playoffs. But they probably will get out of it. There's still a few part of the season left to play, and that's all for the own goals.
And that is all for episode 6 of the Onlyfanz Football Podcast.
The Kostas Tsimikas.
I'm going down to Euros now to get myself a gyro.
Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the podcast this week.
If you're new, please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Instagram, all that jazz. And that's it.
We'll leave it there. So
it's been a great episode. Thank you for listening.
God bless Kostas Tsimikas.
Bye. 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 Bye.